That's exactly what I was singing.
We've now got another
Super Mario on the line.
Right, we've now got another musical intro to go in this podcast.
Not at all copyrighted musical intro at all.
I think it's done so badly. I don't think
legally distinct.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be picked up in any way. Let's go.
Yeah, I'm ready. Let's do it.
3, 2, 1. Welcome, dear listeners. This is episode 126 of the Devon Dice Podcast, recorded on the 12th of May, 2024. In this podcast, we'll be doing a bumper wrap-up of the board gaming news and crowdfunders, plus games we've been playing, and maybe a grumpy bit from me at the end. Hi, I'm your host Joel, and joining me tonight, it's just Nick, the resident board game designer.
Hello, folks. Good to be here.
Yeah.
Also
everyone else.
Slacking. Slackers.
Yeah, they're either on a road trip at a concert or just too tired. Bless their little cotton socks. But
oh dear.
Hopefully we might have, for the next podcast, hopefully the full shebang, because it's going to be a special one.
Oh, that'd be good.
Brought to us by Sam. More details at the end. So yeah, I do apologise for the massive gap between podcasts. I know one just hit the shelves today, kind of, when we're recording. There's a whole lot going on, mainly because we changed hosts for the podcast, which actually needed a lot of work to get everything synced back up so you can go to your usual podcast provider app, website, and get it downloaded from there. We had to do a lot of manual labour to get that all synced up. So yeah, that took some time. Some complications away. So I didn't actually do anything with the podcast until I had that sorted. And then I started working on the next podcast. And then things, just life. It's just like big things happening.
Been busy.
Yeah. So yeah. But now, hopefully, we'll be back on track. We've got UK Games Expo coming up at the end of the month. So,
oh, yeah.
Yes.
Going to be good.
Looking forward to it. Still got nowhere to stay. Might be sleeping in the car at this rate.
Well, it's going to be better than that first hotel from the
Let's not talk about that hotel. Anyway. So yeah, me and Claire, actually, that's another reason why we haven't recorded recently. Me and Claire were in London the past weekend just gone. And
cool.
So we were doing sightseeing. The boy's never been. Isaac's never been there. So we took him around some of the sites.
Cool.
I really enjoyed London. I miss it because I used to live near there when I was growing up. Always could jump on the train and be there in 20 minutes and
cool.
wander out on Piccadilly Circus and take in all the sights. But so yeah, we done that and
that's cool.
Really enjoyed it. I tell you what, like using the transport is so brilliant around London. It's like you can either jump on a tube or a bus and get anywhere in London. It's amazing.
Yeah. At pretty much any time of day as well.
Yeah.
It's just running constantly.
So,
and a far cry from the Southwest's transport system. But the less about that, the better.
Yeah, definitely. And the roads, terrible. Anyway. And to be honest, I was the only one that, and my daughter, didn't lose something. I'm the one that, yeah.
What did you lose?
Well, I'm the one that usually loses stuff.
Yes.
But this time,
like the passports from Essen.
Yeah. Keys from work. Only been at the job for 2 weeks. Only lost the keys. Found them. They came back. Right. We lost an Oyster card. I think the missus put it in a pocket. And it was in the same pocket as her phone, and as she pulled her phone out, must have pulled the card out. So yeah, which ain't a big loss. I think there's like 20 quid on there, so it's not one of those big things.
Yeah, at least it's low.
Yeah,
it's not like a credit card.
And we were on the new Elizabeth line, on the tube.
Oh yeah.
Oh, that's so lovely.
Cool.
So lovely, so smooth. Such nice carriages compared to the old one like Bakerloo. But and we get to a stop, everyone bundles off, and I'm the last one out of the family to get off, and I look on the chair where Isaac was sat, and there's a mobile phone sat there. I was like, oh, someone's left their phone behind. Oh, it's Isaac's. For crying out loud.
Oh dear.
He's already off the train down the platform, and I'm like coming. It's like, did you leave something behind? And he's like, I was like, yep. Lucky I was off last.
Yeah.
So,
wow. That would have been annoying to lose.
But while we were there, and it wasn't that we made extra effort. So on our last day there, we went to the London Eye, and
cool, yeah,
fabulous attraction. Unfortunately, right when we were queuing up, it was raining constantly, and I was stood in the queue for like 40 minutes in the rain without a proper coat or anything like that. Oh. hair gel getting into my eyes and making me cry. But we got on the attraction, it cleared up, and had a lovely time on that. But just around the corner from that is Draughts, the board gaming cafe. And I mean, it is just around the corner from it. It's in this tunnel bit called Leak. I can't remember now. Leak Avenue Tunnels or something like that. And it's been built into this like arches of the railways, because I can't remember what station's above it now. But there's a station above it, and it's got all these arches, and it's inside these arches. And so we just thought, let's go and have a go there, have some lunch, and wait out until we have to get the train. And wow, it's really, really nice. It's bigger than I actually thought it was going to be. There's like, you walk inside, and there's like the main section, and there's actually a mezzanine floor above that, so it gives it more space. Right, cool. But there's these little like offset bits that you can walk around, and there's more playing space, and there's another upstairs, and it's like, oh wow, there's actually quite a lot of room in it, and it's really nicely done. Yeah. Really nicely laid out. The noise wasn't too much. There was quite a lot of people already in there. And when we arrived, we hadn't booked anything, and I said, any chance for a table? And he was like, oh well. And I must have misunderstood him, but I thought he said, oh, we ain't got anything until 2:00. And I said, oh, train leaves at 2. And he says, oh, well, 1:30? And I was just like, oh, you got a table till then? He's like, yes. I was like, oh, sorry. That's fine. Yeah, we'll take it. I said, we're not planning to do much. It's just like grab some drinks and a bit of food and maybe play a game. So we did that. We played a couple of games. We played 1.5 games, actually. Men at Work, because I thought it'd be a good, fun dexterity game.
Cool, yeah.
Only trouble with that, it was good. I was actually enjoying it. But the trouble is, any single knock on the tables we were playing on, and it just moved everything, and everything fell off. So it was like, you needed quite a good solid surface to play on. So, so it was a shame. So we packed that up halfway. And then the kids are, I don't want to play another one. So then me and Mrs. played. I can't think. It's a roll and write or flip and write tag. Oh, it's got the bird on it. It's bad, isn't it? Can't even remember what we played. I don't think I even logged it.
I don't remember.
Tucana Builders. Tucana Builders.
Oh, Tucana.
That's
Tucana, something, yeah. Tucana Builders. Yeah.
That's it.
Cool, yeah.
So me and Claire played that.
A few pods back, didn't we?
Yeah.
Lovely.
So whenever I go to like a board game cafe now, I always think, right, I'm going to play games I don't know, because what's the point of playing games you already know? So yeah, I was like, I've always wanted to play that. Let's give it a try, and yeah, that was good fun. Very interesting.
That's cool. Yeah.
Definitely would play it again. So yeah, and even Claire enjoyed that. And by the time we finished that, we had to move on to the train and go. But yeah, really pleasant visit. Next time, and there will be a next time we go to London, I'll definitely go back to Draughts and spend a bit more time in there. So the people were pleasant.
That's what I've always wanted to try.
Yeah, people were pleasant. Food was great. Pricing actually was all right for what we got. It was like, actually, that's not expensive as I thought it was going to be. And yeah, they had games on sale. They had other like their own stuff on sale. Like I picked up a mug.
Yeah.
Cool. From them. Yeah. The trouble is, the games are retail costs, because I was looking at a few of them. I was like,
yeah, there would be, I imagine.
Yeah,
because they're not going to have many in stock, are they? So they're going to be.
No, but they actually did have quite a good stock, and their library's really big. So I spent a good 10 minutes looking at their library, going, "Oh, I want to play that. Oh, I want to play that." There was a point of me that they had Castles of Burgundy, and I was like, I could teach Claire that. No, I ain't got time to play that. So let's find something a bit shorter. So yeah, really enjoyed it. As I said, I will definitely go back and play again and enjoy that. So
good stuff.
Anyway, on to the news.
Successful trip.
And we're going to start with the saddest news of all. Saddest news I'm ever probably going to pass on, except for when this podcast shuts down. Might be some cheers in the background. Anyway, no. Sad news. Sad. Meeples Corner, our beloved, friendly local game store in Crediton, is actually going to close down at the end of the month.
No.
So yeah, it's
and is this is the store and the online presence, or is it just the store? It's both.
It is both. For him, as he says, it's just not making. Probably not even breaking even now with the games. And I can see what he says. The games are getting more expensive, bigger. So not only does he have to put more money into it to get stock in, but he also has to have. He's creating less
more
space. Yeah. So yeah, and it's just,
less people buying and.
Yeah, and like when we first started gaming, especially when he turned up on the scene, like games would be out at Essen and they'd be around for months, and people still want it, still be after it. Now it's 2 weeks. I mean, you think back to the last Essen that's gone by, and you think, well, what big game came from Essen that is still being talked about now? And I've got many of them on my shelves, and none of them are like. Still big hitters. So
that's how the industry is going at the moment. It's getting faster and faster.
So it's whether that the golden age is over and we're now in a different age of like people being a bit more efficient with their purchasing and playing and things like that.
I think they are. Things. I mean, obviously, there's the cost of living, and at the moment, combined with increased prices on everything, including shipping and all that. And to be fair, production values are still going up, which is really good. But people are just buying less each year. They're just going to focus on like probably a few big games that look really good, rather than trying out. They're no longer going to think, "Oh, that's only a little bit of money. I'll just have a punt on that in case it's good." They will now say, no, I can't afford that. I'm going to just get this one thing that's costing £100 on Kickstarter or something, and that's going to be it for the year or something.
Yeah, I mean, that's one of the other big things is Kickstarter and GameFound. And even...
Because retailers have to back those themselves if they want them, really, a lot of the
definitely. Time. And he doesn't do that.
Do retail.
No. Because too much... Again, it's too much of a risk, too much of a... He said before, he goes, it's just... too much money I have to pay out at the beginning to wait months to get stock in. It's like...
If you get it at all.
This is it.
Which we might mention later.
And that's... Yeah, he's just noticed like his customer base is being started... Even big customers that regularly bought from him are just being really conservative now of what they're purchasing. And So yeah, it definitely kind of popped. The bubbles popped there. And in a way,
so it's a real shame.
Yeah, but it's not too bad. He's not disappearing completely. He's not like he's died. Which was a comment because he had a Meeples game night.
Was that your first comment?
On the Friday we were just gone, and I stood there with one of the regulars, known him for ages, and I was like, "It's a weird feeling, isn't it?" He goes, "Definitely is." I said, "It's like we're at a wake of a funeral for someone who's not even died yet." And he was like, "Yes, I can see what you mean."
Oh wow! End of an era.
Definitely,
it really is.
So, but yeah, it's not the end of it as well. He is still going to be around, and he is going to continue his 3D printing services from his garage.
Oh, that's quite cool. That's pretty good. Yeah, because he's ramped that up a lot. This is Christoph, by the way. If we haven't mentioned who runs Meeples Corner.
No, Christoph. So yeah, it's a shame because he did bring that personal touch to it. I mean, indeed. I knew him very well.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I don't know how many else of you could still say I still have the first game I purchased from him. So,
wow, that's pretty good.
So, and that was because I couldn't get this game. It was brought out at Essen. I waited and waited for all the other shops to get it in, and then no one was getting it in. And then I just went online. I think I went on eBay, found it on eBay because Christopher put it on there through his shop. So I was like, "Oh, that shop's in Crediton. That's not that far, kind of for me." So I thought I'll just make a pop up there, and bought the first game, which was
amazing,
Steam Park.
Oh, cool! Yeah,
that's a throwback to over 10 years ago.
You can see when that was,
So yeah, still got it. But yeah,
good luck to him. All the best, Christoph.
Definitely.
But yeah, well, sure, we'll see him around at times.
And I think he's still planning on doing his gaming nights and gaming days.
That's nice.
But now just using the pub venue again and going back like that. Because he's still in gaming, he's just can't make a living like he used to.
Yeah, it's such a tough market. Yeah, not hugely surprised.
No,
that makes sense. But yeah, all the best to him.
So next up, and I kind of heard about this through another podcast, but a CCG game on Kickstarter has been pulled because of it's using AI art, and not only that, it's using NFTs.
Yeah, so it wasn't the AI art that was the issue, it was the NFTs. So this is Wonders of the First, this was the name of the Kickstarter, and they'd already raised $1.4 million, and then Kickstarter went, no, sorry, you're using NFTs, that's against our terms of service. So it wasn't anything to do with the AI art at all, it was the fact that they were selling some of them as NFT, as non-fungible tokens.
There's a lot of acronyms here, Nick. Still use. Do you want to explain the acronyms?
Shall I explain? So a non-fungible token, NFT, it's like a digital fingerprint for a digital media file of some kind. So they were all the rage a few years ago, where people were creating like special one-off artworks, and then they would sell an NFT, which would effectively say that you are the official only owner of this digital item, even though you could copy it millions of times. You're the owner effectively, and it's barely enforceable because you'd have to have an officially registered list somewhere in the world that lists them all, and there wasn't. And it's kind of a bit of a weird. It's kind of like blockchain was a few years before that. And it's against Kickstarter's terms of service apparently. So they've said no, you have to take it down. And they said they can relaunch it without the NFTs, but still with all the AI art. And every card is AI art apparently in the game. And there were enough people to have $1.4 million backing at that point, which is crazy for a kind of an entry CCG. over 2,000 backers. So it was a bit. Yeah, it's a weird one. So we'll see if they come back with a new project. There was as he said, there's a very vocal, angry mob who didn't want the game to exist because it used AI art. But the only reason Kickstarter could take it down was because of these NFTs.
Well, yeah, because they did disclose it was AI artwork. Yeah. So once you disclose that, that's fine. Also, CCGs are collectible card games. So like Magic.
Yeah. So like
Pokemon.
Magic the Gathering, yeah.
So yeah. Oh well, AI art keeps bandwagon keeps rolling on.
And it will keep appearing.
This is new. So Nick, go ahead with the new Puerto Rico.
Yeah, so controversy hits Puerto Rico once again. So Jason Perez, who is a YouTuber and podcaster, he was responsible for retheming Puerto Rico to the 1897 edition, which came out a couple of years ago, where he reset it in a period of Puerto Rican history where Puerto Rico was an independent state at that point. So it was no longer had slavery. It hadn't yet been taken over by America. And I mentioned it before on the podcast because I've got a copy and I enjoy playing that. So he'd done all that work to retheme it. And then, as we mentioned a few podcasts ago, Awaken Realms teased a new deluxe version where they got in trouble immediately because they were using AI art in the teaser artwork. So they had to take that down. And he posted a video on YouTube saying that he rejects the version he made, the 1897 now version, entirely because the publishers have basically completely severed ties with him. Not in a bad way, there's no bad blood there or anything, but he's gone to them and said, I will gladly help out with this new edition, and do you want me to do any more marketing on the old edition? And they basically said, nope, no thanks, and just cut him off completely. And this was very much kind of his baby. He did all the research for this version. It was months of work to get that theme properly integrated and working with no change to the mechanics of the original. And they have effectively kind of cut him off entirely. And the way he took the video down eventually because he was getting so many comments on it that he couldn't keep up. So he just posted on X, on Twitter, kind of a statement saying this is what's happening. And then Dicebreaker website picked it up and kind of reposted it. And it's basically he's saying that it's no longer feeling like it's proper inclusion anymore, because that was the whole idea behind the retheme, is to make it inclusive, and it feels like they've kind of cut him out entirely on that. So have a look at the links in the show notes. It links to his post on X where he's made the statement. So it makes interesting reading. So we'll see how that pans out for Awaken Realms, because they haven't yet released any more information about the deluxe edition they're planning on doing. But it seems this game is continually in controversy whenever it comes out.
Yeah. And talking of which is not in here because it's already finished and that, the Castles of Burgundy reprint.
Yep, the second edition printing. Printing, rather. That's finished. That went a lot, didn't it? Yeah.
2 million, I think, in the end.
Yeah, and a lot of backers again.
So it's amazing that this is a second printing of a deluxe version of the game. That still did gangbusters in the end.
Yeah, which it's almost as many as the original version, which was kind of crazy.
Yeah, £2,166,000 I've got on here.
Yeah.
So that's amazing. I mean, yeah, they did get some money from me, a little bit, maybe. Because it's all Nick's fault, because he showed me this, so I want my own. Game.
Yeah. But it was 16,500 backers, which is incredible numbers for a second printing of a game that only came out last year.
How many of those were people that are coming back saying, "Oh, now I want the add-ons"? Because there was a lot of people that missed out on add-ons.
There will be a lot. there'll be a lot who come that. But with that price, I mean, it's a lot. Still a lot of new people, I think, especially those who didn't get in on the first edition, or the first printing rather, of the deluxe version, and then saw all the production, saw it come out and went, "Oh, that is actually beautiful. I want to get a copy of that."
Definitely.
And now they have the opportunity. So that's done very well.
And what's nice, as I think we discussed with GameFound as well, is that they got this stretch pay on it. So
I like that. I like the idea of that.
And
I haven't yet found one that I want to back on GameFound that's expensive enough to warrant using that method.
No.
But I like the fact they have that option of splitting the payments over multiple months.
So I'm using it for this because I'm getting not the whole shebang. Yeah. I'm not getting the miniatures. Pardon me.
You
for
don't
the buildings, just the acrylic tiles and things like that. And so stretching £200 over 5 months, I think it is.
Yeah,
is quite
makes
nice.
it much more affordable.
Definitely. So trouble is, you keep doing that, and then by the time you get into the next couple of months, it's like, oh, I'm actually spending £200.
Yeah.
So, ooh. So I've just seen there's new game bags.
Yeah. Yeah, more things. No, stop looking, Joel. Stop.
£81. That's not bad. I'm still waiting for a game bag to be bloody delivered from Kickstarter. I'm really upset now. I've just realised that. Anyway, that diversed way too much here. So crowdfunders. Let's get through these quickly, so we're not here all night. Corpse of Discovery. This is really interesting. This has been popping up a bit. And I'm waiting for it to load up. Bugger. So this looks really interesting. Oh, it's not the one I was thinking about.
Still looks interesting.
Still looks interesting.
I don't know which one you're talking about then. Yeah, this keeps popping up. So this has only got 2 days left as of time of recording, so it probably will have finished by the time this podcast comes out. But it looks very interesting. It's themed around the Lewis and Clark expedition across America, but there are monsters that they have to fight. So it's a cooperative deduction and survival game, and you've got this kind of a central board with lots of tokens on where you have to walk around kind of exploring and finding the right resources to then combine to use to fight these monsters. It just looks pretty interesting. It's from the designers Seng-Fung Lim and Jay Cormier, who did Mind Management and Belfort and Junkart. So some well-respected games, and it looks pretty nice.
There's one
and not too expensive as well.
The one I was thinking about looks like it's got the same artwork, but the box has a little dice tower built into it.
That's already out. Give me a second. It's Harrow County, I think, that one.
That's it.
Yeah, that's the one. Crowdfunded last year, so that's fulfilling at the moment, I think, or it's near to fulfillment. It's the same. Yeah, it's Jake Cormier. It's the same designer.
That's right.
One of the same designers.
Anyway, still looks like a good fun game,
and the same publisher as well. Yeah,
that's why it looks all similar.
So that's why it's the same art style.
Yeah. House of
check that out.
Sorry.
House of Fado, yes, another new Vital Lacerda game. This one ends 17th of May.
Is this his Speakeasy game?
No,
No,
it's different. Speakeasy. I don't know if Speakeasy is even out yet.
It's not out there. I just because it looks
2025
kind of familiar to Speakeasy.
I mean, I'm guessing. Actually, I'm not sure if it is the same artist. No, it's not the same artist. So Speakeasy's Tool art. But that's coming out next year.
Okay.
That's a bigger game.
It is.
Whereas this one is a smaller game. It's closer probably to Mercado de Lisboa. This one in size. So a lighter-ish one. But it's kind of fun. You're playing musicians playing in the House of Fado restaurants in Italy, I think, where you're serenading the diners, and you're trying to manage the musicians. It's just a lovely theme, I thought, and classic Vital Lacerda design and production. Looks great as well on this. So
Definitely.
yeah, that's another one to have a look at.
Altogether, if you wanted this, it's about £60.
Yeah, it's a decent price as well.
So about £50 with the shipping. So
yeah,
not
it's
too bad.
£39 with for just the game, not including shipping. So it's a pretty good price, but obviously shipping prices are a bit crazy. And you can pick up Mercado de Lisboa and Bot Factory as packages as well if you wanted to at the same time.
Yeah, Bot Factories might be good.
Yes, I want to try that because I really like Kanban, and so that's kind of based on that. It's a cut down version of Kanban, I believe.
Carry on.
Yeah, the next one on the list is Formosa Tea. It was returning for a second edition on Kickstarter. This was kickstarted 3 years ago, I think, and it's this one from Taiwan. Yes, it's Taiwan Board Game Design publishing this, and I have played the original version, and it's a good fun game of processing tea leaves and shipping them off to various places. Yeah, just a nice little kind of worker placement and resource management game. The price is not too bad on this. It's let me find the price. It's about £40 for a copy, not including shipping, including extra add-on things, or you can pick it up from Essen as well. But yeah, it's a really cute game, this one. So if you didn't back the first one and like the sound of it, go and take a look. This is on until the end of May, this one.
Awesome.
And then the last one on my list is Board Game Adjacent. This is not an actual board game. This is called One Card Maze Season 2. I saw this pop up somewhere, I can't remember, but it looked quite a lot of fun. So these are multiple cards, but on each card is a maze you have to solve. And the maze is not just a trace your finger and it's done. You're tracing it, and you have to go through certain passages you can only go one way through. And when you get to the edge of a card, you flip the card over in that direction and then do something and carry on the back where there's more of a maze. You get to some action kind of rooms where you have to rotate the card, or you have to flip the card a certain way, or you have to do something like that. And it's really cute, really cute. It takes, they say, about 5 minutes per map to play. Then it comes in a little wallet, and you can play this online. There's an online adaptation where you can go and try them out. And I played 3 or 4, I think, in a row. They were, really quite fun and cute kind of cartoony-ish art style. It says it's season 2, so obviously there was a season 1 at some point, but I did not know that was season 1.
Trying to think of his name. Who's the guy that does all the green games?
Green Couch Games?
No, green games. All the boxes are green.
Freedom and Freeze.
Freedom and Freeze. I'm sure he done something.
Yeah, he did like one called it's Flip something.
No, it's Fold.
Fold, yeah. Folded or something. And I don't think they're listed on BGG because they're not board games. They're puzzles, but you can get them from the BGG store.
You can.
It's quite similar. Whereas that one with Freedomans is that you actually fold the map is like cloth, I think, and you fold it.
Yeah.
And you can join up to the edges of the other side and then bend around. Whereas this is just you don't bend the card anyway. It's literally you just flip it around, turn it, twist it. But yeah, similar-ish kind of concept.
Okay.
This is quite nice. You can get the print and play for £5 or the wallet for £8, or in everything for £29, which is season 1 and season 2 plus stretch goals and everything like that. So yeah, quite cute.
And then we got Coming Soon.
Yeah, so actually none of these are on crowdfunding at the moment, so these are just going to come out at some point, these ones that we've heard of. The first one is Lord of the Rings Duel for Middle-earth, which is announced by Asmodee, and this is a re-themed implementation of Seven Wonders Duel from the classic design duo of Bruno Cathala and Antoine Bowser. That's about as much as we know about it at the moment. It's a re-theme of Seven Wonders Duel, so it'll have the same kind of card play, but with tweaks to be setting in Middle Earth. It's going to be available for demo at the UK Games Expo, so I look forward to seeing more about that one.
Yeah, I'm slightly disappointed that it was a re-theming Seven Wonders Duel. I thought
It's not going to be exactly the same mechanics. They have changed some things, which is good because Seven Wonders Duel, it's very popular, but I didn't enjoy it as much as Seven Wonders, and I didn't keep it. I had a copy, but I didn't keep it because it wasn't different enough to me. But this one sounds like it might have changed enough, especially with a different theme, that I might be interested again. So I'm going to keep an eye out for that. Next on the list is Black Forest. This is from Uwe Rosenberg, coming next year, and this is a sequel of sorts to Glass Road, which is one of his quite popular games from 5 or 10 years ago, which has the clever resource kind of wheel where whenever you gain enough of each material, the wheel ticks around automatically and creates other resources for you. So it's using that same kind of mechanic with the resource wheels, but set in a black forest apparently. But you are again making glass. You develop a small glass making domain in the woods of the Black Forest. So I don't know how different it is from Glass Road, but I did really enjoy Glass Road. Oh, there you go, 2013 Glass Road is, so 11 years ago. And we'll see if he has updated the design for what was an 11-year-old game now. But we played Glass Road on Board Game Arena recently. It was fun. So yeah, I'm looking forward to seeing what comes of that. And then one that I think Sam brought up to our attention is a new co-op card-based action game from Corey Konietzko, and this is the Mandalorian Adventures. So this is a design set in the world of the Mandalorian from Star Wars from Season 1, so it kind of follows the storyline from Season 1, and it sounds like it's kind of a mission-based system where you have kind of like a scenario-based, but the first mission being that Mando teams up with IG-11 to rescue Grogu. It's got a kind of a spiral-bound map for the terrain, and then it's playing out cards to do various actions. So this sounds intriguing to me. Looks like it might be nice. And this is from his new company that he set up a few years ago, Corey Konietzko, which is, if I look it up, Unexpected Games. He set up a few years ago. And they have come out with The Initiative and 3000 Scoundrels previously. This is the next one that they're doing.
When you said spiral, I thought it was like a map that was spiraling from like the centre outwards, like a
that would be quite cool.
A snail shell.
It's a spiral bound. No. Yeah, it's like a fold, like a book, but spiral bound.
So people, if you played the Gloomhaven, Jaws of a Lion, it's that kind of thing.
Yeah, that kind of thing.
Which was also, just looking through it, games. It's got like storyboard comic strips in it to tell the story. So yeah, it does colour me interested on this. I will definitely give it a look out. £50 at Asmodee? $50? Can you get it? You can't get it now. It must be pre-order.
It's pre-order, yeah. It's pre-order for $50 though from Asmodee. So we'll see how much it is when it makes to the UK.
Releasing on the 2nd of August.
Yeah, cool. And then the last one on the coming soon list, which I'm sure you've read about this one, Joel. This is the Stonemaier announcement of Vantage, which is the new James Stegmaier design. So this is an open-world cooperative roguelike adventure, and Jamie's apparently been designing this for many years, trying to get it right. Very, very open world where you can just choose what you want to do.
1 to 6 players, so that's a bonus.
Yeah, that's a big, wide range, which co-op does help for that. But yeah, that's a wide range of players.
2 minutes
800 interconnected locations. So there's not a huge amount that we know about it, but it's linked on Stonemeier's website. You can have a look.
But don't get too excited, everyone. You can already
see metal coins for it.
Don't get too excited for it, because it's not coming out until mid next year. So we got a whole year to wait.
Actually, whole year. And
might be
Jamie said he doesn't usually announce it this early. He will usually announce when it's already in production. But he wanted to announce it this early because of how long it's taken, and he wants to start introducing things about it over time. So yeah, it'd be an interesting one.
Definitely. definitely would like.
So that is our list of
this.
coming sooners.
Definitely.
There were a lot more Kickstarters, by the way. I put them all up in a blog post on the website. So if you want to see even more Kickstarters, go and see that. There were about a dozen, I think. It was crazy.
We'll probably do that again. So see how that works out. Right, so we're going to get onto played games. 1 minute, Claire, come here.
That's very demanding. Come here,
please. So Claire's going to join us for this bit.
Woohoo!
Oh, am I? Hello.
Yeah. So, Claire.
Hello, Claire.
Hello, Nick.
Tell everyone about our experience with Gen 7, or your experience with Gen 7.
Oh, I want to flip the table and pull the game apart. I hated it.
From what episode did you hate it?
From the beginning.
Wow.
It was like unnecessarily complicated and like, I just didn't get it really right from the beginning. And by the time how many episodes did we do?
We got onto our 4th.
Okay, so by the time we got to the 3rd one, it was just highly negative and impossible to do anything.
Wow.
And yeah, there was too much to do and not enough to be able to do those things.
Yeah.
It was hard work.
I'm just reading one of the reviews on Board Game Geek, which sounds like you wrote it, Claire, here. It says, it's the most idiotic game I've ever played. Broken mechanics, broken components, broken visual, don't know what's not broken, maybe plot, that's all, it's not a game, it's... And then swears very loudly.
Well, I mean, I did promise...
Does that sum it up well?
Yeah, pretty much it does, yeah. Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I mean, I said we'd play our 4th game and then make a decision and hopefully see if it gets any better. If it doesn't, we started setting up the 4th game. There was a few moans and groans, so that's already not a good sign when you're playing a campaign game. But nothing extra came into the game, and we're on our 4th one. And like I said, we've done like
it just got harder and harder without any additional resources. And things.
We've done like 5% of the contents of the box, and like still nothing's come extra in. And I think by my 2nd turn in the 1st round, I was already done. I was already fed up, and I just wanted to stop. But we got to the end of the round. We'd done our objective. I don't know if we'd done it fully correctly because the rules are so whimsical and very vague. And we got to the end of the round, and then it said, now you've got 3 rounds of basically trying to survive, which we already had a systems failure on it. So we've already got one board wiped out, and we got, well, this just doesn't feel like there's any point. We're struggling. We're already uphill, like against the wind. And
in all honesty, I didn't really understand what we were actually trying to achieve because it just felt impossible. And I didn't really get the storyline. So yeah.
No. And I think that's the biggest the thing that they were trying to push with it is there's like 8 different stories to this. So there's 8 different paths.
Bit like choose your own adventure.
Yeah, but you have to play through 7 rounds to see if you get a different story or a different ending. And that's what it like we after that first round we all just said we're done. We'd already done it's like an hour and a half just doing that first round. And I said I think we all just came to we're done, let's stop this now because no one's enjoying it. And then so Lewis and I actually started flipping through the storybook, and he went straight to the end to see what the outcome would be. And it was just like, so the idea with this game is because you've done this storyline, you can go back, reset it all, and try and find a new storyline. and there's like 7 different or 8 different possible endings to discover. And I was like, no, I don't want to do it the first time. Why would I want to do it another 8 times?
Wow.
And then I'm kind of calculating. So each game takes about 4 to 4.5, maybe 5 hours. Times 7.
Well, that's too long.
Times 8. That's just no.
I mean, you're getting your money's worth for the amount of gameplay.
Yeah. However, if anybody would like to have a go, we have a copy.
I mean, to be fair, to give a balanced review of that, there are a number of people on Board Game Geek who say they really liked it. There are a number of people who say they really didn't like it. So I think it's probably quite a Marmite type game where you either like it a lot or you hate it.
I think what would be nice is
quite spread out.
Is if the rules were explained better, and I think this is where an app would have come in much better for it than cards and things like that, because it would have helped you carry on. It would have helped you save stuff, and it would have explained stuff. Because like the rule came out is that we had to find a person, but we had to go to a certain part of the ship, and put dice in there, and then we roll these other dice, and if that dice, so people are represented by dice. So if this person you're looking for, if their dice rolls on a certain number, and you've looked in this compartment, then you found her.
Yeah.
But it also didn't state whether you had to put her out if you had to, and think there's a really complex thing. But it was like this kind of thing is like, so when it comes to this kind of AI section, which was the other dice you have to roll to find this person, do you actually put their dice out, which means then you can't find them? And it doesn't say that. It just... Yeah. And so just...
That's really bad to have a poor rule set is going to kill a game. That's... Yeah. And a number of comments on Board Game Geek are saying that there was an unclear rule set, which made it harder to play.
So yeah, it's just just ain't got the time. There's no investment for us for it, and it's such a shame. It could have been great, but it wasn't. Yes, because
what's it based on, the original Crossroads? Dead of Winter, is it?
Dead of Winter. But they always kind of said they wanted to do a space Dead of Winter, but I think they went too far with it and trying to have a story. So yeah, it's in the UK Games Expo selling list now.
Cool. Well,
but on the lighter note,
at least you've experienced it.
On the lighter note, we played Green Team Wins. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I'm interested to hear what you think of that one.
Yes. So that's quite fun. It's a party game. It's a kind of just one. It's kind of just one. It's not
that kind of weight, isn't it? Yeah.
No, it's a party competitive game, but you're trying to join the winning team. So
green, or what's the other team? Red is the other team, I think.
I think so. Orange. Orange. So you get a question comes up, and it could be, there's 3 different types. It could be would you rather, or in your opinion, what is the best sport, and it might give you options or something like that. But you've got to think what other people might put. So, like you say, what's better? What's a better pet? Hamsters, dogs, or cats? Kind of thing. Yeah. Now, I would say dogs, but if I look around the table and knew people better, I was like, well, he's a cat lover, and she's a cat lover. I'm going to have to go cats, because I want to be on the green team to win. And yeah, that's how it works. Yeah. And if you're on the green team and you get the right answer, the majority, you'll get more points. Yep. But if you don't get the right answer, then you don't get any points, and then you start getting behind. So it's one of those, you're either going with the people you know what are going to be the popular answers, but it might not be your right answer. And it was. And
you'll switch team as well if you
Yeah.
If you don't guess the right answer, then you're then on the orange team rather than the green
You're
team.
back on the orange team.
So you're switching back and forth. Yeah.
So I think it's a good.
It's a
good
very
game
clever
if you've
concept.
got the numbers. It does. You only
you want the numbers. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's a good game for a higher player count, I think.
Definitely.
I enjoyed it.
Yeah.
I thought it was a good game. It was easy to learn.
Yeah.
It was nice and light after Gen 7.
Which is good. That's weird.
And the last one, you played Scout as well. Do you remember the trick-taking game? You didn't do too well on that.
I do love a bit of Scout.
You got the cards, and you're either playing the same number down or the rows of numbers, and you got to try and...
Oh, yeah.
That was our first time playing that, and she was in negative points at one moment.
I didn't do very well at that game, but maybe I need a bit more practice.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to be at negative points.
Yeah.
She did figure it out at the end. Just, I see now how this works.
Yeah.
But
once you work out,
late. Yeah.
It really clicks. But the first game, you're probably going, what with how what?
Yeah. Well, it does depend on what cards you've got in your hand as well, doesn't it? And it's how you manipulate your hand, with what you play to then make sure you have a nice strong hand at the end of the round, near the end of the round. Yeah.
Or can go out quickly.
Yeah, but as we got through it, I was like, I'm starting to get this now, and then it was done.
Yeah.
It was too late by then.
I did try and offer up the Joel House rule, which is you can move one card when you get your hand. Move one card. No one wanted to do house rules, and then as we start,
they were doing
the game,
hardcore mode.
Everyone's going, bastard! If I could just move that one card. I was like,
yeah. Well,
so now you want to do the Joel House rule, do you? And they're like, no, we've started now. We're just going to play it like this. I was like, okay, fine.
Oh dear.
So, but yeah, right,
that's cool.
Done with you. If you're happy.
Okay, I am. Yeah, I'm going to go because I'm going to go and get Isaac to bed.
Okay.
Bye, Nick.
Nice talk to you, Claire. Bye.
So what have you been up to?
So what have I been playing? I have been playing quite a lot of solo stuff recently. But the main one I'll talk about is Fate Forged Chronicles of Kharn, which from Mighty Boards, which I probably mentioned last year. This is what I was demoing for them at Games Expo last year.
Mm-hmm.
We're demoing it again this year. And they sent me the demo copy that I'm going to take along to the expo kind of early so I can have a play through it properly with the production copy. And I've been playing through it. I've finished the first of 3 acts. And it's kind of a campaign game, I would say. It's kind of like it's a set storyline. There's one storyline effectively through it, but it's a branching narrative all through it with 13 potential endings, apparently. I think I remember saying. It's app driven, so the app handles everything from what story choices you've made, what combat results you have in the combats, all the stats for the characters it will remember when you set them, and then it will balance all the combat scenes and some of the storyline scenes based on the previous choices. So I played through, as I say, the first act, and that was probably 5 nights of about 2 hours each. But each story section and each combat section is probably only about 20 minutes long, and you can stop pretty much any point. As long as you finish, if you're in a combat, you have to finish the combat. But other than that, you can stop at any point along there. So you could just play it for 20 minutes. And I did a few times. I would play 20 minutes, go and do something else, come back, do it a story for 20 minutes. And it is really interesting. It's a very clever system that Gordon's designed. This is by Gordon Kalea, who's one of the guys at Mighty Boards. And the idea of the plot of it's set in the world that Studio Agate created for their RPG, and it's set in this city of Isafir, and you are forest folk who've been sent from the forest to try and find one of your colleagues who's disappeared. And so the game, when you first open it up, the first thing you have is a letter from this person that they've managed to sneak out from the city that you're reading, and then the story progresses from there. So it's a really nice kind of intro with this physical letter you read. And you're going into straight into storyline choices. As soon as you get into the city, you have to make choices about what happens, who you talk to, where you go. Sometimes there are characters that open up side quests which you can optionally go on. And then at certain times you will get combat scenes where you have to fight the usually it's like the militia of the town. And the combat is quite cleverly done. So you have a number of tiles. I think there are 37, 38 tiles of all slightly different rectangular shapes. And you set them, the app tells you exactly how to set these maps, little maps up of maybe 7 or 8 tiles each for each combat, and then which minions are coming out, which kind of boss guy for that battle is out, and what objective you have, like you have to get to the exit, or you have to open this chest, or you have to rescue this person. And then you're battling through based on each character that you're playing, because it's cooperative. You will roll 4 dice, and you may have different dice than other people, and you may have more than 4 dice, but you can only ever roll 4 of them. And you roll the dice, and that will effectively give you which actions you can do. So you can move between zones, you can fight melee or ranged, you can do a special interaction thing, and you can buy power-ups during the game to kind of, extra weapons, extra armor, maybe some spells that some of the characters have, which let you get better at fighting these minions. But you only have a certain amount of health and a certain amount of energy. And once you run completely out of health, then you're knocked out and you're out of the combat round. And you can, and this has happened to me, you can have all your team knocked out, and then the combat ends and you lose the scenario. And that doesn't mean you have to replay the scenario. It just changes what the storyline does at that point. So I think the second fight I was in, I lost very badly. And so it changed what happened in the story from that point on. I'm really enjoying it so far. I really wanted to play every night. I was going, right, I want to play it again tomorrow night straight away, until I got to the end of Act 1, and I'm having a break now before I do any more. But you've got sticker sheets that you unlock for various locations. You have hidden information. There's a sealed envelope that's in the box that you're not told about until midway through the game. Really, really interesting, and it's kind of sounds like it's the opposite of how Gen 7's experience went with you.
Right.
Probably does a lot of the things you would probably wanted Gen 7 to do. You can save your progress at any point. It's got a very nice way of saving your progress. I mean, the app obviously saves everything of where you are, but all of the physical components that you have, each character has a little tuck box, and you put all your active health in a little baggie in the tuck box, and everything else loose in the tuck box with all your unlocks. And you have a party bag, which is called party bag, which is anything your group has collected, so things like gems and any equipment that you're not wearing at the moment goes in this party bag, and any story unlocks go in there as well. And the way that a lot of the interactions work is that you'll let's say you open a chest and you find a piece of armor or something, and it'll say find card 302 in the unlock box, and so you'll go through and you'll find card 302, and then that tells you what you've got and what it does, and you can tuck that into your party bag for the rest of the game. And then some cards will get just not destroyed, you don't rip them up, but you put them in what's called the graveyard section of that box. So you'll never see them again. And it's a very clever system. I think I can get the game out to the state it was in when I saved it and pack it up again. It takes like 5 minutes to do that packing up and that resetting, and then you're straight in again. So very impressed with the production. Well, the only bit I played at the Expo last year, which is what I was demoing to people, was the intro scenario for the combat, and then a little bit of the storyline. So I've now seen a huge amount more of what the game offers. So well worth checking out. It was on Kickstarter last year, I think it was, and it's fulfilling soon. And then presumably we'll be able to get it retail. But yeah, so if you're at the Games Expo and want a demo of it, come along and I'll give you a demo.
Awesome. I'll just lock myself out of Facebook, so that's
oh no!
Thing I've got to sort out now.
Oh dear.
Axiom Protocol. So this was a Kickstarter I was buzzing about 2 Essens ago, because it was like on my top 10. It was ramped as one of these shared worker placement, first of its kind, set in a cyberpunk universe, And yeah, so that got delivered this year, a couple of months ago. And
it's a long delivery period, isn't it?
Yeah, I think I talked about it because I think it just got delivered, and I kind of bitched about how I thought, there's loads of components in this, and actually no, it's just another stack of cards because one set's German, one set's English, and I get 2 rule books.
Oh yes, your last moan from the last podcast.
Yeah, so and yeah, everyone said, "Oh, what are you moaning about? It's fine. It's like keeps the cost down." I was like, fine. So we gave it a play. It was on the same day. I didn't let Claire join in because I thought it'd just be way too negative. Because I don't think she enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it. I think I need another play of it, but I don't think it's what I expected.
Wasn't what you were expecting.
Because it's not really worker placement.
Right.
The people are on there, and so the idea is you're these companies, and you're controlling the people of the city. And there's because it's Kickstarter, there's 40 odd people that possibly could be on the board, but there's not always 40 people. There's 6 at the most, 6 or 7 possibly. They all have their individual routines and special powers, and so as a turn you can take control of one of these people, and they can only be controlled once per round. And it also it's the timer for the round. So once every character that's in the city's been actioned, that's the end of the round.
Yeah.
So you can take control of this person. You can either do their special ability, or which is possibly a very long text box, or you can do one of their routine things. Which I was kind of gutted about because the routine things are at this bottom. They're all different icons. And I first thought that you would go through this routine set, and so you could action one of them, which could be quite fun. But no, you pick one specific thing on there, and you can action that one specific routine per turn.
Right.
So the downside is if it's a complicated character with a lot of text, everyone's got to know what that character is because it's shared. It's not belongs to anyone.
Right. Yeah.
So there's a lot of people hovering over the cards, trying to read it, trying to understand it, and trying to think, do I want to do this now, or do I want to just do their routine? And then they've got to figure out, well, what would be best? Would this character doing their action be better than actually doing something like their routine? And it's just, it's not convoluted. I mean, sometimes it can be because the actions can be you have to read through the text, and it says
that sounds just fiddly.
Sorry,
just sounds fiddly, doesn't it?
It does. And if you're going to do their action, you've got to read through the text and do the top to bottom and do it fully. So it'd be if you're in an area with another character, you may murder them. If you're not in an area with another character, you may drive to the nearest character. And then that's it. And that's one of the simple ones. There's loads that can be really long-winded.
I mean, that kind of thing, you'd think you could replace that with a very simple iconography rather than the text. You don't want a whole load of text in small font on a card that everyone has to see around the table. That's really bad.
And then it could be
UX design.
I mean, it could just be really quite anticlimactic. I mean, you don't have to. So on your turn, it's not just you don't have to take control of a character. You can actually Uno reverse the turn order when that's your action.
Yep.
You could just take the start player token. And what's the other thing you can do? There might be something else you can do. Oh, you can bring someone in, I believe. I really can't remember now. And there's maybe a couple of free actions you can do. And it's one of those that we played it a little bit wrong because you can only bring in 4 extra characters into the game. So when you've done a round, you then go through this sequence of cleanup and doing. And if you discard like these, they're called software cards, you can bring in new character. But you can only bring 4 of them in, and you keep count by you put markers in these locations that can bring characters in. And once all the locations have been used up, then you can't bring any more characters in. So I think we brought in maybe 1 or 2 extra characters before we picked that up.
Right.
And so it was just...
Is it co-op?
No, it's competitive. And that's the other thing.
It's competitive, but shared worker placement. Okay.
So that's the other thing is you got these 8, I think it's 8 different tracks for different things. So there's like crime, drugs, products, all different things, scandalous, like scandals, things like that. And you get a company card which has its own special power. Oh, that's the other thing you can use is your company power, which I don't think anyone used because they didn't seem worth it. And then you get 2 of these 2 tracks. So your company is wanting to score these tracks, and when you do an action with a character that does one of these things, it will raise that track up, and you want to get those tracks higher because the higher they are, the more points you score. So it's basically 1 point per track. But at one time, if you have 4 software cards, you can discard those 4 software cards as an action to take a monopoly on one of your icons on your card, and then it will score double points at the end of the game. But you can only score that icon. You can't score the other one. So you're that throwing it up. And I did that. I think I was the only person that did that. And I think I came 2nd or 3rd because the others worked on their 2 tracks and got those up higher and basically scored 1 point. And I think it's actually really anticlimactic because it goes, oh, so you score 10 points, you score 12 points, I score 13, or I score 14 or something like that, and then Nick scored, something ridiculous. Something like that. So it's like really low scoring for a game that took a while to play, to understand. And I just thought, I hate it when points don't seem to
they're almost meaningless.
Resemble the game kind of thing.
Yeah.
And so, I was
bizarre. I mean, it's got a pretty good rating on Board Game Geek, but not many ratings. It's got 78 ratings total, with an average of 7.7. But it's spread. There's like loads of 10s, 9s, and 8s, and then there's a few 7s, and there's a load of 6s, and then quite a lot of 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It's really weird. I've never seen a mix like that. I think it's just because of the low number of ratings.
So a lot of that would be Kickstarter people trying to...
I think the top ones are probably that. But some of them are saying it's got everything I wanted from a game. But some of them are saying this game has caused me to pull back from Kickstarter completely. So it's a real disparity in what they say.
I think, to be honest, that's kind of what I'm feeling as well. I'm now got to that level of I'm done with Kickstarter that I don't know.
Big Kickstarter things, that you don't research fully.
And I mean, I researched it. We looked in it. I was like, I really like the look of this. Yeah. I like the theme. I like this what they were selling. But when it actually got delivered, I was disappointed with the box opening and like, it's not lots of components, half of what I need. And then just the gameplay, it was just, one
of the comments, which was giving an average of a 4 out of 10 rating, so almost half, he said it needed about 6 to 12 months more development before being released. It sounds like that's probably right. And his main issue was there was just so much text everywhere, it made it fairly unusable.
So
shame, but
it is a shame. Again, I kind of want to play it, And I think I need to bring it to you.
Yeah.
And have a go to see whether
I'll try and break it.
Yeah. No, to see if I'm being silly or I'm just not understanding it, but I'm pretty sure I'm going to be selling it at UK Games Expo. Do you want to make any noise over there?
Yeah.
Right. On a lighter note, I did play a classic. And
what a classic!
This is all on these games that I've just talking about happened all on the same day. We had a big, massive gaming day with Sarah and Nick, and we had finished Axiom Protocol. Claire had gone running off because I think it pissed her off so much. She was like, I'm not playing any more games, and disappeared. Lewis actually pulled out, not podcast Lewis, old Lewis. He actually pulled out of Axiom Protocol because he just looked at it and was like, nah, don't want to play it, and walked off down to the shops. So when he got back, he actually saw I had Scotland Yard on the shelf, and he was like,
what a classic. Love it.
He goes, I never noticed that. He goes, how long have you had it? I said, a couple of years now. I said, I actually found it at a, not a car boot sale, but at a, like a bake sale that the NRIL was doing.
RNLI, yeah.
Yeah, I might get that acronym right around. RNNL, whatever. Yeah. So the lifeguard people. And it was like £5. And I was like, I might as well just take that. Just, see. And it's just been sat on the shelf since I've had it. And he's like, have you ever played it? And I was like, no, I haven't actually. And he goes, I played it years ago. He goes, can't really remember it, but should we just do that? I was like, yeah, let's do it, kind of thing. I checked all the components. They were all there. So it's like, let's do it. And I actually read through the rule book, and I don't know if it's a age thing of when, like, if you go back in time of how people used to write.
Quite a lot. I mean, this is from 1983, so it's
it's like
it's a world away from what we used to.
I was 2 years old when this came out. I could read that rule book read so well. Now, I'm someone that struggles with reading because of my dyslexia, but the writing flowed. How it was written.
Yeah.
I
think it was very likely written for mass market. So it had to be very easily understandable. So it's probably written with that in mind.
But I mean, it's all text. There was not a lot of imagery, but it just read so well that it was like, oh yeah, we do this, this, and this. Right, do that, do this, and then we were going, and it just made sense. And it was just like, why is it not written
like a breath of fresh air
now? It was.
Yeah.
And that's not the best thing about it. The game's great. I mean, it's such a good hide and seek game.
It won Spiel des Jahres in 1983. So
did it?
It did. So that's. I'm not surprised.
My only
it's a good
thing
game
is,
as well.
I don't know if it scales for 3 players or 3 detectives.
Right.
So it's the 4 of us. So one of us was Jack. I think it's Jack. Is it Jack? I can't remember. And the other 3 were detectives. Mr. X, that's right. The other 3 were detectives. Now, if you're playing 2 people with 2 detectives, they would get 4 lots of detectives, and they would move those 4 detectives around the board, making a better kind of was it grabnet? Not grabnet, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, a web of connectivity.
And if you're playing with 4 detectives, and they've got 4 detectives, but when you're playing with 3, you've still only got 3 detectives, which makes that kind of dragnet kind of catchment a little bit more difficult for them. So Lewis done Mr. X first, and he was having like a meltdown because he was just like, it was like he was on the run. He was sweating, he was swearing, he was like, he goes, if I could track my heart rate now, I bet it's up there in the, like 150 range. So when we finished it and we caught him by turn 14 or something like that, I was like, I want to do it, but I want to be Mr. X now. I want to see what this like. And I just sat there like, this is a breeze. You are nowhere near me. And then when they thought they were near me, they were nowhere near me. And it was just actually quite good fun. But it was that whole thing. I was just wondering whether, if there was 4 detectives on the board, would it be actually more difficult? So I do wonder whether it's still, like with 3 detectives, it still needs to have 4 detectives on the board. And they all community with each, like communicate. Use
communicate?
it. Not communicate. Like a community kind of detective that they can all manipulate. I did think another good rule would have been you get tickets to use to move around, so you can use the buses, taxis, and the tube. And they have different distances, which is great. But you need tickets. Yeah. So like the detectives have a certain amount of tickets, and when they use a ticket, they actually give it to Mr. X.
Right.
And Mr. X starts off with very few tickets of each. So he wants you to use the tubes because he's only got like 2 tickets at the beginning to use. So he wants the detectives to use a tube, but the detectives can say, "No, I'm not going to use a tube. I'm just going to use a taxi." It's like, I need tube tickets. I need to get further away. He does have double tickets, so he gets to have 2 movements in a go, and then which he just cashes in. And he also has black tickets, which allow him to keep his movement a secret, what he's used. Also allows him to use the river, but he doesn't have to disclose how he's used it. Now, I think, because everyone's, like the detectives are having a conversation in front of Mr. X, so he kind of gets an idea of what they're planning. I think if Mr. X uses a black ticket, he should go out the room so they can have a conversation about their plans.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Because he's in the dark. He's hidden himself away. Yeah. Why should he know what's going on? Yeah. And I think that would be absolutely great.
That would be a fun change.
But I did notice at Meeples Corner when I was on Friday, he had 2 copies of a new version, which had looked pretty much exactly the same as what I've got, but some updated components, and looked like the detectives get some extra powers individually. So I might just check that out and see what it is, and see if there's any difference with it. So
yeah, that'd be cool. See if they've updated it at all. Exciting. A blast from the past.
Do we carry on, or do you want to do another one? Yours?
Should I do one? I'll do one more of mine.
Okay.
So I've finally got Nucleum to the table as a solo game, but I've learned all the rules, so I can now teach you, Joel. You can come around and we can learn it. So this is designed by Simone Luciani and David Tutsi, published by Board and Dice. And it is, as is commonly mentioned when the game comes up, it does feel like Brass and Barrage had a baby. And it is a heavy game. I think it befits the stated weight of 4 out of 5 complexity. And in this game, you are trying to build kind of power generator factories and network links, which I think are train links, to power buildings that you're building out onto the board. And you sometimes want other people to use the power so you get benefits from it. But the whole game is kind of based around this action selection where you have a number of action tiles in your own area, and you'll choose which each of them have 2 actions on, or most of them have 2 actions on, and you will either place it above your board, in which case you get to do the actions, or you will build it out onto the map, and any color matches you get from the cities you place it next to, you get to do the action that's color matched. And some of the routes are more than 1 link long, and therefore you need another action tile next to it at some point in the future to activate it, and other players can activate it by making color matches, and so you get a benefit on their turn, etc. What I think is very clever is that when you're playing them to your board, you can play up to 8 to your board, but usually you will do a refresh at some point because you'll run out, because you only have 5 or 6 of these to start with. So you play them out, and however far along you've also got 3 income tracks for workers' money and victory points, And however far you've reached in your action tile laying effectively on your board, that's the cap at which you can take your income from your income track. So you want to be pushing your income tracks up during the game, but the more you push them up, the more actions you want to take before you do a refresh. And so there's a very interesting balance there about when you do a refresh, because you want to maximize your income at the time. But you're placing these action tiles out on the board, and once they're there for the rest of the game. They're stuck, so you're reducing how many actions you have. So you have to then go and buy more action tiles from one of the action spots, which is on the sideboard. As well as this, you've got contracts that you're trying to fulfill. These are like small requirements, like have a certain number of types of building on the map or a certain number of power stations. And you're also trying to gain, I can't remember the resource name, but it's stars. Effectively, you're trying to get star points, and you get those for whenever you energize a building. And you can energize a building that you built onto the map by having it connected to a power station, and there are a number of power stations dotted around, and you want to get enough energy from that power station to your building to power it up to the level it needs, and then you'll get a certain number of stars. I think it's a claim, it's called, equal to the amount of energy you've got. And at the end of the refresh phase, you have the opportunity to place out a star on kind of a victory point multiplier track based on how many stars you've got between then and your last refresh. And there's always a high number you want to get to, because these are kind of graded with the multipliers. You get a times 1, times 2, times 3, times 4, and you'll get higher and higher, and you can only have 1 star in each section, and they're split in 4 or 5 each. And that will affect also what end game goals you're scoring, because those end game goals are next to certain points on that track. When you energize a building by activating a power station, usually you'll have coal that you can pull in from external places, and that costs money. Or if you've managed to upgrade one of the power stations to a nuclear power station, or as it's called here, nucleum, because this is a steampunk world where nuclear power was invented 100 years before it was in the real world. You can pull nucleum, which gives you more energy for your buck, really. And as I said, you've got these buildings that you're building out, very much like brass. You're building them out onto the map. But you also have energy turbines and nucleum mines. You're mining for this nucleum, and you have to be able to transport the nucleum to the power stations. The turbines give you bonuses about how much power it gives you. There's a huge amount of interlinked mechanics going on, but it works very, very well. It feels streamlined, and yet there's a lot of rules that you have to learn up front to know how to score well at the end. But everything interlinks really beautifully. It's very, very clever design. So well worth looking at if you like heavy Euro games. It is very much a heavy Euro game. The Australia expansion, has come out recently. I have not yet tried it, although I do have it, which adds a different map and kind of a sailing mechanic, which I haven't looked into yet, but that looks fun. I've only played it solo. The solo mode is very nice and streamlined. It works pretty well. It's nice fast turns for the AI that you're playing against. But I'm also looking forward to actually trying this multiplayer as well. So when we have time, Joel, at our Devon Dice Con, I'd be very happy to teach you. It'd be good.
Definitely. As I said, I always play someone else's copy, so...
Yeah, yes. And I'm not necessarily looking forward to the teach. It's going to be a tough one to teach, because as I said, there is a lot. You need to know effectively all the rules at the start to know how to play best to score the end game conditions, because there could be a huge multiplier at the end for getting those. But if you put the effort in, it's well worth it.
Definitely. So a big game I played, this is kind of ad hoc, so Cranbrook Gaming Club do 4 Sunday gaming events a year, so I went along to that.
Cool.
Paul Grogan was there, and he brought along inventions, evolutions of ideas.
Talking of Vital Lacerda, as we did earlier.
Yeah, Vital Lacerda game. The last one I think I played of him was Kanban EV. The rest of them just scare me. So I don't know why.
Yes.
And I love Kanban. I love Gallerist. But yeah, the rest of it just seems like it got way too complex for my liking.
You want something nice, small, like House of Fado that we mentioned, or Pot Factory.
Definitely. But Inventions, like, I like the look of it. I like the concept of it. Paul Graham says that there's a slot if anyone wants to join in. So I said, yeah, I'll do it. And
cool.
Paul's really confused because we finished this in less than 2.5 hours, and that's with a teach.
Wow.
Now, I mean, it's unheard of.
It says 60 to 150 minutes on the box. 2.5 hours would fit into that with a teach.
It does, doesn't
so
it?
It sounds reasonable. But yes, for a first play of a Vital Lacerda game, which has got a weight, oh my goodness, the weight is 4.68 out of 5. That's very, very heavy.
Yes.
I don't know if you agree with that complexity rating. But yeah, finish that on 2.5 hours. That's amazing.
In some areas, yes. Because there's still an area I still don't know how that works.
Yeah.
And it needed Paul to explain it to me each time I tried to do it.
Yeah.
But I loved it for the fact that it's like a civilization game, but only focuses on technology. And it is basically you're going through the time of technology, of stuff being in, like, so there's like concepts and or there's ideas and then concepts and then putting it out there as actually an invention. And there is there's 3 steps to it, kind of thing. So as I said, in these ideas, concepts, and invention, or whatever it is, and to get something created, you need to go through those 3 steps, which is basically 3 actions, and you only get 13. Is it 13? Yeah, 13 actions in the old game. But it's combo horrific. It is, and you've got to look for that because it's not going to work if you don't look for those combos. But there's other actions you can do. It's a while ago now since I played it, so it's all now kind of being a bit foggy. But I remember that was the first game we played, and then I played a few other games afterwards, and I think I still left that hall and my head still hurt from playing it. I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I said I enjoyed it.
It's nice to have a grindy game.
But it was so much, and it is possibly that level of complexity that it just hurt. But I would play it again.
That's a sign of a good game, isn't it?
Yeah, I would.
If it hurts your brain that much and you want to play it again,
yeah,
fantastic.
Because I think there's other things to do with it, like that I really enjoyed, and like as you play through it, you say, oh well, if I do this next time, then this might work better, kind of thing. And there was a point like you got end game scoring cards, and I really kind of had to really work hard. And I thought, I can't get my 4th one completed. But then we get to the end of it, and like Paul's like, you can only score 3 out of the 4 anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I was like, glad I didn't work that hard to get the 4th one completed then, because I would have been really annoyed with myself. But yeah, it's a beautiful game, both in design and artwork.
It does look lovely.
And people, especially Lacerda fans, will hate me for this. But there was a slight tinge of tapestry that I felt in it.
Oh, really?
I could feel the hate mail coming to me now at the minute. But there was this very slight thing going, that kind of feels like tapestry with the inventions. And then there is this little hex bit on your player board that you're filling up. It's like, it's a bit like tapestry.
So you definitely need Lewis to try it then. That's what my takeaway.
Hold on, someone's knocking on the door.
I
think it's all the Lacerda fans are on my door.
Oh dear. So yeah, Lacerda was clearly thinking when he was designing it, I really want to design a game like Tapestry, but I'm going to give everyone their own map. That's the only change.
There was a point in it, and I can't remember now, where he actually borrowed from Concordia.
Right.
I think because there's a world map on there.
Yeah.
And there's a bit on there similar to Concordia where you flip over a tile and you score points, and then it flips back over if you go there again. I think that's the same with Concordia. And he actually did message the designer of Concordia and say, "Can I use this?" And he's like, "Yeah, whatever." Yep. So, but yeah, inventions, evolution of ideas. I mean, I liked it. It is heavy. It will hurt your head. And don't compare it to Tapestry because you'll get hate mail.
Very cool. Yeah, I'm intrigued by that. It sounds interesting. I'd be up for trying it.
Definitely. We've got 2 BGA games.
We do.
Takino Cola, which I thought was alright, roll and white kind of game based on Takinoko.
Takinoko, yep.
But I thought it was a bit kiddie-ish.
I enjoyed it. I think I mentioned this to one of my solo design friends, and they said they'd played it. They said that the more advanced maps are much more interesting. The one we played was like the training mode map.
Oh, okay.
And the others do a lot more interesting things with rushing end game points and set collection things. And I think you can play the other maps on BGA as well. We just happened to just do the intro.
I thought that was it. I was like, wow, is this it?
No, there's a load of maps. There's loads of them with different difficulty. Yeah, I think I said to Sam at the time when we were playing it, this seems very basic. It's fine, but it's just a bit meh.
I think the coolest bit is you roll the pens like dice.
I do love that. Yeah, the dice things like slot onto the color pencils, and you just roll a whole lot, and you have to pick. It's a color and a shape, and then you use that pencil to color in a certain matching bamboo or cloud or sun or whatever. So I think it's a clever roll and write, a very light one, but a clever one. And it kind of feels like Takinoko. I mean, thematically, it's done well. Mechanically, it's totally different. But I played again. I played again if I could play the more advanced maps, I think.
And the other one we've been playing that I actually really like is Loot. It's got
Loot with 3 O's. Just to make it hard to search for.
Is Charles Chevalier?
Charles Chevalier.
Chevalier, okay.
And Laurent Escoffier.
Now he
French
designed
designers,
Abyss and Kangawa. Probably butchered that as well.
Kangawa, yeah. And this is published by Gigamic.
Nope. There is Biggest Games I can see on there. But I mean, Abyss is an amazing game.
It's a well-known, yeah.
I really like this, and I like the fact there's 2 mechanics to it. There's like area control to gain resources, and then you've got this puzzle tile laying bit.
Tile laying puzzle
map. And it really can make you think, that tile laying puzzle bit. So there's two kind of bits to it. So first you've got to place, you get like 14 Vikings, and you've got to put them onto this like communal map, which is full of resources
and buildings and stuff.
And buildings. And where you put your Viking, you gain that resource. And then you get that tile and you put it on top of your map. Now you're trying to make it link up with buildings that are already on that require the resources. And then once you place it down, you can put down longboats, which is basically more buildings that require resources. So if your building already on the map needs trees, sheep, and houses, and you put down a tree next to this building, you can then put down a longboat next to this tree that requires a tree to then also hopefully. And once you meet the requirements of these tiles and buildings, you flip them over and you score points. And these longboats actually score, like, it might say at the bottom, your trees are now worth 2 extra points. So all the trees you put onto your map will now score 2 extra points. And you can have multiples of those. But it's that puzzle of spatial awareness, because when I first played this, I didn't read the rules. I just played.
Yeah, you randomly clicking stuff. Yeah.
I think I came out with minus 20 odd points on it, and then Sam's there with 50 odd points. I was like,
oh, wow.
I've missed this game completely. What have I done? And then I read through the rules. I was like, oh, so longboats, if you don't complete them, which I didn't even know you had to do. I was just placing stuff. I was really just randomizing my turns. Because I was being lazy and not reading the rule book. I do like that challenge sometimes of just trying to play the game and see if
trial and error.
It out. Yeah. I think I got it towards the end, and I was just like, I think of where I'm going wrong with this. Okay. But anyway, yeah, you get minus 3 points for each incomplete longboat you put on your map. So So yeah, I read the rules and we played again. I think you joined in with that game next. And it was close that time. I think then suddenly Sam's last turn, he just smashed it and completed several at once.
Like one placement, yeah.
Yeah, but is that one of the things, like, if you misjudge where you place something, I think I did that in that game. I was just like,
it can really hurt you.
Yeah. So, but I really like it, and I think I could have this on my shelf. Because I quite like it that much. We're actually in another game at the minute, and Claire's joined in, and yeah, she's now 6 days behind because I didn't tell her we actually started a game.
Yeah.
Claire, you do realise it's your turn. My turn on what? Board Game Arena. I didn't even know there was a game going. I was like, oh.
You just started it for her.
I just started it, yeah. I actually did take a couple of set up her things and then forgot to tell her that I'd done it. She's now playing catch up.
Yeah.
Poor thing.
So yeah, I played this as well with you and Sam. I didn't click for me playing. I couldn't work out how to get things to score properly. I watched the rules playthrough video, and that made total sense. And I went back to the game and I could not work out what was going on. And I think that was probably because the UI on the phone just doesn't work very well. It's too much to display on the phone. And if you play it on the laptop, it's got that annoying thing where if you scroll up and down when you're on the map bit, it kind of grays out and goes, use your control key or whatever to zoom in and out the map. And I was going, I just want to scroll up and down the screen. Every time I scrolled, it kept saying this, and all I wanted to do is to move the screen up and down. So that kind of bugged me. But yeah, it didn't click. I just couldn't work out how to properly score things. And like your first game, I was effectively playing randomly. I knew I was trying to score the longboats, but I just couldn't work it out. It didn't feel like there was any logic to what I was doing. But I would have to play it again probably, but I didn't really want to play it again because I think you invited me to that second game, and I just thought I don't want to do it again. I played through it enough to think I don't want to play it again. It's not interesting enough. I was kind of slightly bored by it, but probably because I couldn't work out how to play it. But I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I'm glad it was useful. And I can see the potential there. I like the idea of it. I like the puzzle of working out where to position resources so that in the future you can place a longboat right there, which would be really perfect for those things as well, and then it will join to those, and you can place this bit here and it will complete those ones, which will then give you an extra bit. I like that idea and that design. I just didn't click for me in my brain for some reason. That one
definitely.
It's nice. I think the physical version, it's a nice production. I can see the bits on that, and I think it would probably make more sense to me in physical form.
Oh, excuse me. Right, let's get to the grumpy section.
Grumpy mode unlock.
Yes. So a couple of things have bugged me, and Lewis might like this section. Both of them. Box sizes. Okay.
Oh, the age-old question.
So, one of my favourite games, Through the Desert, Rhino Connexia Classic.
Yep.
All Play did a Kickstarter last year, I want to say. It feels like it was only this year.
Yeah.
I backed it because
it was recent.
New design, and they brought out an expansion, or like a modular expansion. I was like, well, I've got to have that. I love Through the Desert. I've still got my old copy. It's still pretty good condition. And so, yeah, you would have thought, right, that they would design a box, not only just to hold the core game, but if they're bringing an expansion out with it, that it would hold the expansion too. Yeah. No. I'm struggling just to get the core components into this box they provided.
Wow.
It is bagged, but it's
no
it's
insert
struggling.
In the...
No. The box is not the standard box. It's like a shoebox shaped rectangle, but not as deep. Trying to see if I know anything. But they seem to like these shaped boxes. Trying to see if I can find a box that's quite similar to like Fitness. Sky Team. Have you played the? You've not played. Have you played the physical?
Yes, played with you.
Oh, have you?
Sky Team. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, you did. So if you can remember that, it's about the thickness of a Sky Team box. It's probably about the size of a Sky Team box. If anything, it's probably a little bit thinner.
Wow.
So yeah, there's a lot of components anyway in just a core thing. They provided a nice bag to randomise the watering holes because they're double-sided now. The board is a much bigger board compared to the original. So that's at least folded up a good inch and a bit thick.
Yeah, I imagine.
There's a lot of plastic components, a lot of tiles, and when it's all bagged up, it's not going to sit flush. And that's without the expansion components, which is more tiles and decks of cards. Oh, and I've not even got the bloody rule book in there, have I? Oh, yeah, it's at the bottom. So it just bugs me. It's like, okay, you're trying to keep... I think they're trying to keep all their boxes to like standard sizes because they make one or two shapes. This kind of half-hearted shoebox size. And they're small square boxes for their little mini games. But I think you just need to provide a box that is big enough to fit the components in.
The game,
easily.
That seems like a basic thing, doesn't it?
Yeah, easy. I'm not talking... I mean, what's it? Garfield games get a bit of stick because they make their boxes...
Oh, they are...
like, snug.
Yeah, very snug.
But I do know you can get all the components in there.
Yeah.
This just feels like I've got to take all the components out and just chuck it in the box, shake it around so they move into a nice kind of stack formation, and then hope for the best that you still can close the lid. And I don't think it should be like that.
That is bizarre for a new edition to not design the box to fit the game properly.
Yeah.
Especially with an expansion
send
as well.
it to you. I'll send it on the group because it is. I'm not joking. It's ridiculous, and I'm just again disappointed.
Yeah.
By another Kickstarter that has not thought this.
And I can understand if they want to keep to a set 2 box sizes because then they know their costings for how much shipping containers will cost and all of that. But if the game doesn't physically fit back in, then that's defeating the purpose.
And it's not like it's got an insert. It didn't come with an insert. It's all flat on the actual cardboard box. So it's not like I'm being silly and saying, "Oh, I've got to keep this insert because like it's part of the game." It's, I would. That'd been the first thing that would have come out. But
it's all just flat in. Yeah.
It didn't even come with an insert. It just came with that. So yeah, again, yeah, but it is lovely. I am actually going to I might do a comparison between the two, because actually I think the plastic they've used on this is cheaper than the one in my classic.
Really? Wow.
So it's got that sound to it where it just feels like it's like
just slightly too thin.
Yeah. Almost kiddie-ish. I mean, it would do damage. If you stood on one of these camels, you'll do damage to your foot before you do damage to the camel.
Yeah.
But yeah, I might do a comparison and we can see the difference. Videos and
Indeed.
Yeah. But I'm actually looking forward to getting this to the table because it's adding some new stuff to it. So, but yeah.
Yeah. Gameplay wise, I'm sure it's good, but box size, come on, publishers, standardise it. And,
might have to design an insert for it to all fit in with my new 3D printer. That's on its way.
Yeah.
Then the last thing, again, it's Board Game Arena. Do be careful what tournaments you sign up for. I accidentally signed up to a Ark Nova tournament, and when it came around to start, I started 15 games of Ark Nova.
Oh dear, that's just too many, Joel.
15. This is some kind of group league game. I don't know what's gone wrong, whether it's meant to be like this or whether they've made a set mistake, but there's been a few people that I've started games with that actually quit because I think they're in the same situation. And I've used it as an educational purpose because I am getting schooled. The first game that's completed, it was completed in a matter of rounds, the shortest game I've ever seen. They had 150 points. I had like 60. And I just looked and I was just like, how did you do this? I need to study you. He did have that rating system of like 500 ES. What is it? EPs or something like that. And then, that's not been the only one. There's been a couple other games where I've just been like outscored. And I'm just like looking back at it and it's like, I've got to figure this out. I'm playing this all wrongly again. So I'm using it as education. I think I've won 1 or 2 games.
That's pretty good.
I think someone's timed me out, which I don't think you're meant to do, but yeah.
That's cheeky when you do that.
But I don't think if there's another round of this or 15, I don't think I'm going to leave the tournament because I'm actually feeling quite negative now towards October. I think I'm.
Yeah, I'm not surprised. That many games at once. That's gonna.
And I don't want to hate the game. I love the game, but
yeah.
With this going on,
you can have too much of a good thing, can't you?
No, so I think if when the next round start, I think I'm going to quit because it could make you dislike a game.
Yeah.
So read the tournament information carefully, guys. Yes. But anyway, so I think that's me done.
Grumpy mode over. Yeah.
Yes. Exciting stuff coming up. UK Games Expo preview spectacular, which is being brought to us by our very own Sam.
No pressure, Sam.
He's all hyped. Yeah,
he is.
He's all hyped.
So organised. He's got a geek list and everything. It's amazing.
He has. As I'm not even going to bother starting one because it's pretty much the same games as Sam's picked.
That's right.
So
that's coming
he's going to go through pretty much the games he's looking forward to, the stuff we're looking forward to, and seeing whether I've actually booked anything to anywhere to stay yet or be camping out on the lawn of the Hilton. So that's coming up in the next episode, which we'll be recording next week because this one is now like a 2-hour
It's like a full double episode, isn't it? Wow.
Yeah, sorry guys.
It's 2 hours.
We did say we are going to shorten these episodes down, but
we could split it right in 2.
We probably could actually. Okay, let's close this up because it is a long one. So thank you everyone for listening. I do hope you enjoyed it. if you want to add a comment, discuss what we've been discussing, pop along to our Discord channel. We're getting a couple more members on there, so it's quite nice to see. Do talk
one
about
whilst we were
with
recording
us
as well.
Yeah, do chat. Just join in, start a conversation.
Yeah.
We don't care.
Respond to stuff we post. Just say hi.
Yeah. So yeah, you can find the links to Discord and Facebook and that in our show notes, as well as you can find all the show notes, all the links of the stuff we talked about in this show, thanks to Nick, because he loves a link.
It's been linktastic this week. All over.
It has been linktastic. So yeah, find it all in there. As I did say, we have had to spend a lot of time on our hosting and making sure it's going out all to different areas. I don't know how this will work, but if it is not appearing on your regular hosting website or regular podcasting app, I don't know how you would know this if it's not there, but please let us know and we'll see if we can get it on there. I've covered a lot of bases and it took a long time, but hopefully it is appearing still correctly, and actually it might be better. That's what I'm hoping for. If it is there, do go along and rate the show. Give us a rating, give us a comment. It will definitely help the podcast to be pushed along. And I think that's it. I'd like to thank Nick for turning up.
You're very welcome. Thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
And thank Claire for doing a little cameo bit in the middle of the podcast.
Yeah. Thank you, Claire.
And let's say goodbye, everyone. Say goodbye.
Bye.
Claire said it from the bedroom. All right.
Very quietly.